So the speaker's office has had absolutely no communication with me directly at all. So everything is going through Leader Jeffries or Whip Clark, and every person in the Democratic caucus has been so incredibly supportive, sending out their own tweets, really encouraging Speaker Johnson to swear me in. One of the first arguments that I heard was, and this is again through media outlets because the communication is not coming to me directly, said that if once the official results are in, then we'll go ahead and swear her in. Well, that completely changes the precedent that this speaker has established by swearing in two Republican members of Congress less than 24 hours after their election on a pro forma day. And then, as you mentioned, Walkinshaw was also under 24 hours. And so the only difference between me and the other three individuals, they're all male, not party, Republican and Democrat. And so I'm just wondering why the rules are different for this Chicana from Tucson. And the only thing that I can point to is that I'm the 218th signer, decisive, that's going to be me to sign on to the Epstein files. And that really seems to be the only difference. And so what we're looking at, we were exploring ideas that a federal judge could also swear me in, but that still requires an act of Congress. Mm-hmm. And so if Speaker Johnson isn't willing to take any suggestions from the floor, to hear any of the members like he did last week when I was in the gallery on the floor with the other members of the Democratic caucus, and there was a gavel in and a gavel out, that's essentially what's been continuing to happen. And so I don't see any recourse for me until Congress goes back in session, and we don't know when that's going to be.
Okay, so if someone does not want to take the word of a Chicana from Tucson, let's pull up this headline from the Rolling Stone. Back in April, Reps Jimmy Patronis and Randy Fine, both Republicans representing Florida, were sworn in by Johnson during a pro forma session the day after their special election. So if anybody acts like this isn't funny business, there you have it. Listen, there's what it means, Congresswoman-elect, to the 218. There's also what it means to the people you were elected to represent. This from the New York Times. Right. Since you have not been sworn in, she cannot use any resources from her congressional office to serve her constituents. She cannot hire staff, and she cannot set up an office in her district. The office in Washington that will eventually be hers is vacant. Phone calls there are redirected to her father's old office in Tucson, which Ms. Grijalva said was closed and emptied before her election. We're in the middle of a government shutdown. I mean, what do you tell the constituents who elected you to be their voice in Washington?
I just joined a rally of AFG employees, federal civilian employees, and they all have questions about what their recourse is. And I don't have any way to help them other than to refer them to our wonderful senators, Gallego and Kelly, and to my colleagues who have offered very graciously to help, both Representative Ansari and Representative Stanton.
Congresswoman-elect, it is. Well, first of all, I will note, they said they, as in you were hearing through the grapevine, the news media and House Democrats, that you were waiting. They wanted to wait on the official paperwork from Arizona. Local outlets are reporting, and even the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, who sent a letter on your behalf to Speaker Mike Johnson, underscored that the House has already received the necessary paperwork from Arizona for your race. So that's one. I want to double back on what the chairman was talking about here, because the reality is the speaker cannot legally deny you from your duly elected seat, but he can employ these delay tactics. There is precedent, and it has happened before in Congress. In 1869, Congress refused to seat black legislators from Georgia. Because of a technicality, they had to sue. Julian Bond, notably, had to go to the Supreme Court in 1965 to be seated in Georgia because they didn't want to certify him. There is a Supreme Court case that has the precedent for your particular situation here, saying that Congress cannot deny a sitting member of Congress. Are you going to sue to get your right to take your rightful place? Because this is the Speaker of the House using his power to deny the citizens of Arizona, but also all the people that want to know what's in the damn Epstein files, the information that they want.
Exactly right. Yeah, I think that my official results will be available on October 14th or shortly thereafter, according to our Secretary of State here in Arizona. Once that happens, there literally is no other reason why I should not be at the table and also being able to support the constituents here that overwhelmingly elected me to serve in this position. And so if it comes down to that, I absolutely will sue.
So Congresswoman-elect, at the end of last week, after listening to the storyline develop and sort of putting my political hat on.
Just wait for it, Congresswoman-elect.
I'm just saying, you represent a lot here. Simone has already alluded to some of that. At the end of the day, you and the 3 Republican members who are aligned with you to be a part of that 218 vote requirement for the discharge of the Epstein petition really matter to a lot of people. And so I just want to put it out here publicly and say it is time that the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, free the Epstein 218. Let the lady take her seat so she can represent her people and she can cast the vote that the Speaker is clearly afraid will be cast.
Thank you very much. We might have to caption that and use it. Just asking.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
Thank you. I mean, it really does. I try to joke and sort of keep like a sense of humor about it. But, I had the privilege of watching my dad get sworn in. And it was like, I remember it. And so I'm a mom of 3 kids. I had flight plans ready to go, technically leaving tomorrow. And so it is sort of ebbing away some of the joy of this moment, not only for me and for my family, but for Arizona. I mean, whether you voted for me or not, we broke history. We broke the glass ceiling, and we want to make history by being officially sworn in and having my name on the placard outside the door of the office that I'm going to hold and not be able to get into the building. Literally, now that we're shut down, I can't get into the building because I'm not an employee. I don't have any legal reason to be there. It's very frustrating.
Do not let them steal your joy.
Don't let them take your joy.
You won by a very healthy margin.
Yeah.
There is a history in this country of people trying to block the progress and the ascension of African-American and Latino and Hispanic elected officials. You are Congresswoman-elect Adelita Grijalva, and one way or another, let you tell it, you will be sitting in that seat.
That's it.